All right, we've got the streaming is going. Thanks everybody for being here. I want to um, share my screen because what we really want to do is make certain that everybody understands kind of what we're wanting to do with the different roles in for the different raids. So I shared this document with you guys the other night and wanted to just kind of get your feedback on it. Um, so let me know when you guys are able to see.
Yep.
All right, so as you guys all know, we've got three different primary roles on each team, and each of them has, I don't want to call it a job description, but these are just kind of tasks that are needed to get done to make certain that the team runs as smoothly as possible. Couple of things just to kind of keep in mind is even though we have strategic leads, guys that are going to be doing call outs, I would expect for all of our raid leaders to work together, so like on our team, Muchler and Araquium are in the, are in that spot, but, I would expect to be, to have them to have conversations with me and Jumps as well as we start developing strategies. Um, I would ask for all of you guys to install Method Raid tools. There are some really, really cool things that you can get from Method Raid tools. I'm going to share somebody. I'm going to invite Mushler um, and turn it into a raid.
Yeah, so watch out, Jess.
Oh, I'm watching. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
You guys always worry
Right,
about
one,
me.
you may not want to text me right now because everything you're saying to me goes out on the stream. So we'll hold on to that. Anyway, with Method Raid tools, there are a lot of really good things that you can have as as a raid leader. So, for example, you can put up on your screen the different cooldowns that are available at any time. Those would be really, really helpful. For example, if we needed, if you selected Rebirth, that would let you know the cooldown of Rebirth. Whether or not we have Soulstone up, that sort of thing, what sort of healer cooldown. So that's really, really helpful. Also, there's kind of a raid inspect where you can look at the gear of all of the folks in your raid, so you can see if not somebody's not if they've got cracked gear or if they are not. For example, right now I've got that bargain bush equipped, so that's the sort of thing that can be helpful. And then also when you do a ready check, this is really cool. You can see what buffs people have. So you can see right now Musler has Druid, but I don't have. So that can be really helpful whenever you do a ready check, just to see what buffs are out there. So that can be really, really helpful. Just short, long story made short, install Method Raid tools. Let's use that because that's going to really help us going into the next phase. All right, so one of the things, the structure, what we're going to be looking like is, we have the four teams. Each team has strategic leads, administrative leads, operational leads. We really haven't formalized this, but since we've been a rating guild, I've kind of been heading up all of our rating efforts, and so we're just kind of formalizing that right now that I'm going to be the guild raid officer. So I'll be providing oversight to all of our rating efforts, and so what that looks like is I'm going to be supporting all of you guys. So if you have problems, if you have issues, make certain that you reach out to me and let me know how I can help you guys. Um, the idea is that I'm not necessarily going to do your job for you, but if you need support, if you need thoughts or input, certainly I want to be that resource to you guys. Um, Obviously, anytime we have a new phase, there's going to be kind of that formation committee, and I'll be overseeing that committee when we have new phases, in case we have to redo the raid teams. And I pray that we never have to do that again. But I see Jumps is with us now. wanted to thank Jumps for him and his hard work in helping us kind of analyze the data and figure out what the new teams would be looking like. Obviously, if we have some sort of issue that's related to behavior, absenteeism, loot disputes, that sort of thing, I would expect for you guys to reach out to me, and that way we can get them taken care of. I don't want anything to fester, but if you got something that needs to be dealt with, make certain you reach out to me. So anyway, those are kind of some of the things that I will be doing. I just want to be a support to you guys. It's not an extra layer of management. It just kind of formalizes what I've been doing all along. All right, so each team is going to be composed of strategic leads, 1 to 2 per team. And so, the idea is, you guys are going to be researching, you're going to be sharing guides. You're going to want to put them in your raid team channel in Discord. And also, we do have an SOD resources channel. So if you have, we have a rating resources channel. So if you find something that could be helpful for all of the teams, use that rating resources channel. Obviously, you're going to be explaining encounters prior to the start, before things are on farm, especially if we have members that haven't seen encounters yet. You're going to be making call-outs typically during encounters. Typically, one primary call-out person, but you may need to have somebody else making call-outs, healing cooldowns, or maybe a different thing. The main thing is, we want you guys to be making, you guys are the boss during the encounter. So anything that you guys need to do, you can delegate those call-outs to somebody else, but for the most part, you guys are kind of set up to do that. Obviously, you guys will be responsible for setting up the parties so that we have party buffs distributed optimally. Make certain that your pallies all have pally power, just to make certain that the right buffs are going to the right people. Making certain that your melee are taking advantage of being in the same party as Wild Strikes, and our Boomkins are in the same with our mages. That sort of thing will really help. So kind of a little bit of knowledge there whenever we get the raids pulled together. We already talked about method raid tools and having that installed. So any questions about strategic leads? Anything that I've forgotten that you guys think is important for strategic leads to, I need to add that strategic leads need to be responsible for? And I apologize, my dog is barking her idiot head off. I hope you guys can't hear it, but it's driving me nuts.
I can, but it's okay.
So,
We can, and I take offense.
I even have my door closed, and the damn thing keeps barking. All right, so anything at all before I move on? All right, so second we have administrative leads. So these guys are really kind of our unsung heroes, because they're going to be responsible for setting the rosters up for the raids. These guys, I want to stress that I do not want to pug. Do not want to pug at all, because it cheats our people out of gear. So that's why we've set up administrative leads, because they're going to be putting up raid calendars. We want them 1 month in advance. We want to make certain our raid signups are at least a week in advance using the raid bot. You also need to keep an eye on your signups to make certain that you have a full roster. And I'm going to be a stickler about this. If you got a main raider doesn't sign up 24 hours, or if they list themselves as tentative, go ahead and replace them. I've gone out there and said and made that stance. It's a hardcore stance, and I will stand by that. But I think it's important for people to respect our time, and it's going to be much more important now that we're in 20-person raids. That to know that everybody's going to be there. If we have a main raider that no shows, then whether they were signed up or not, then contact me and we'll talk about the issue. Okay. And then obviously that person is going to be scheduling replacements. The idea is that we want to prioritize our first call substitute raiders, and we have put in the that list of all the raid teams are pinned in the raid leadership channel, and we are keeping those up to date. Um, let's see, I'm going to open that up. And so we've got all of our teams here. We've got our preferred first call raiders. So my preference is if you've got an opening on your team, try to contact these folks first to try to try to fill the position. Also, you'll notice that we have all of the strategic, operational, and administrative leads on these. It is going to be the job of our operational leads, so disaster, fish, administrative leads, sorry. So Nicolette, Za, Jumps, and Xanath, these guys are all going to be responsible, and lady are going to be responsible for keeping this document up to date at all times. So if you get somebody that drops off your raid team, you'll need to be responsible for removing them. You'll need to demote them from raider status and let me know. That way I can pull the tag from them in Discord. And obviously the opposite if we add somebody to your raid team. So that'll be really, really important. So obviously, yeah, managing the roster, keeping the raid team spreadsheet up to date, tracking attendance. I also want to encourage you guys to put together some sort of template where you can track attendance. I would encourage you to, one of the things we're going to do on our team is if somebody's late, we're going to write it down. And we're going to, and that way we know that folks that are habitually late, we know that if that's becoming an issue that we can, that's something that we will deal with. So I would encourage you guys to go ahead and track attendance, and then obviously provide support to other roles as needed. So any questions about what administrative leads are supposed to be doing? Okay. Anything I'm missing or anything anybody has a problem with? Okay. The last one's the operational leads, and so these are kind of our raid day folks. They're going to be working behind the scenes doing a lot of things such as managing the software system. One of the things that I want to be a stickler about that we were kind of loose on this last time is on our hard reserves. Obviously, dedicated healers, dedicated tanks get a hard reserve, but I want to specify that it needs to be a BIS item that is specific to the role, either tank or heals. We had some folks last time that wasted their hard reserve by hard reserving the toy, the World Shrinker toy, and other stupid shit like that. So hard reserves are there not so people can get their cute little toys, but it's so that they can have that BIS item that will help to empower the overall raids. So operational leads, just make certain that the items that are hard reserved are appropriate. Obviously, you're also going to serve as the loot master. Since you're moving to a +1 system, you're going to have to develop a spreadsheet, and I've put together a little template, and I'd be glad to share it with you. But you're going to need to track loot for every raid. That way you'll know if somebody's already gotten their +1 for the night. I've already shared with you how our +1 is going to work, so every team does need to observe that +1. That way folks are, that way they know exactly what's, what we're expecting, and we don't have any loot hoard types of situations. Obviously also sending the BOEs and the DE-MES to the guild bank, ordering, distributing raid consumables from the guild bank. This person will also need to be doing running and posting logs. One of the things I want to encourage each of you guys is that even though we're logging, we want to emphasize that that logs are a tool and not a club. We're not going to beat people over the head with it or berate them for bad performance. It's an opportunity for us to really help and coach our people up. Likewise, on the other side of the things, I'm all for good competition, healthy competition. But if you get somebody that is a parse lord, then if they start making other people feel bad, that's something that we should probably deal with too. So keeping logs in perspective, just to see exactly what they're for. Also, we want to make certain that that the raids are getting started up and ending on time. We want to make certain and be sticklers about people. That first pull starts right at the very start of the raid. We want to respect people's time, so making sure that we start and end on time as well. Make certain that all the raid leads have assist to help with invites as well. Obviously, you can use MRT to make certain that raiders have gear and enchants, that sort of thing. So that's kind of what the operational leads are doing. Obviously, if you have any kind of issue, that's what I'm here for. I want to make certain that I'm a resource to you guys. I would much rather us deal with issues early on rather than late on, because people could certainly, I just don't want wounds to fester. And I want people, I want us to be able to take care of things quickly. So I see we're kind of gathering some guys in here that are not raid leaders. So glad to have you guys in, but this is a raid leader meeting. So, but we've more or less gone through just about everything. Does anybody have any questions or anything that that I have covered that you don't understand, or anything we need to talk about? You guys are quiet.
We've read all the documents.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much good.
Yeah, I
You
think I'm
covered
good.
most of it.
All right.
I did have one question. For filling open spots, you have that list off to the side.
Right.
Were those people that were just looking to fill in week by week as needed, or are they looking for a full-time?
It's a combination of the two, and you can kind of see
Okay.
some of that. This raid data sheet will let you know a little bit more about when folks are available.
Okay.
So that can be helpful. And then there's also this thing called whether or not they want to be a sub or not.
Oh, perfect. Yep, I did not look at the other tab yet, so.
Yep. So that can be helpful, and you'll get to know once you kind of fill these out. Yeah, and I'm guessing, guys, we're probably when by the time we got to filling all 4 of these teams, we were pretty much out of full-time raiders. There are just not very many left. So I'm going to guess we may need to do a little more recruiting, whether inside or outside the guild, does not matter. But, we'll probably need to do a little more recruiting so that we have ample people to fill in, to do fill-ins. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to put this in our raid leadership channel. I want to say I really appreciate all of you guys for all of the hard work that you do in leading raids, and hopefully this new team approach to leading raids will be a little bit more. It won't be as stressful for you guys because you have folks to rely on. But if you need anything, make certain you reach out, because I'm going to be a support to you guys. So that is essentially all that I have for today. I wanted to keep this short and sweet because I know some of you guys are getting ready to raid. So appreciate you. Y'all have a
Sounds good. Thanks
Good
for all
rest
the
of
info.
Sounds good.
all right.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Later.
Okay.